Hello and welcome. I'm Sulaiman. Later tonight, all Progressives Congress leaders move to mend fences. Party governors accept Dr. Saraki as Senate President, Yakubu Dogara as Speaker, House of Representatives. President Buhari advocates supremacy of the party over personal interests at meeting of APC National Executive Committee. Internally displaced persons in Abuja accuse government of neglecting them. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras urges voters to reject blackmail in Sunday's bailout referendum.
And on business news tonight, financial derivatives company predict a further rise in Nigeria's headline inflation for the month of June to 9.1%.
While on sports news, top seeds Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova survived major scares to reach the fourth round of the Wimbledon Championship at the All England Club.
We begin tonight in Abuja with the All Progressives Congress's acceptance of the leadership of the National Assembly, though peace talks are still in progress to resolve the crisis. The party had rejected the elections of Dr. Bukola Saraki as Senate President and Honorable Yakubu Dogara as Speaker of the House of Representatives. The party's nominees for principal officers in the Senate were also rejected. However, the House of Representatives is yet to constitute the principal officers. At the end of the reconciliation meeting, the Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, said discussions are still ongoing to finally resolve the National Assembly leadership crisis. Although Governor Okorocha said that progress has been made, he did not give details on the discussion. He said that the factions in the National Assembly have agreed to work together to reach amicable solutions. Aside from several state governors, leaders of the two factions in the National Assembly leadership crisis attended the meeting.
I'm aware and we're aware that the nation has been waiting for the outcome of this our peace move, and I'm happy to announce to all of you that the peace at the National Assembly is at sight. And we have had discussions and we have all agreed to accept peace. So you will not see any more disagreements as have been in the past. Peace has returned to our party, and both the Senate President and the Speaker and the distinguished Senator Lawal and Honorable Femi Bajamila will work together for the unity of the National Assembly and for the progress of our party. By next week, we shall give you the details of the outcome of this peace arrangement. But so far, so good. To God be the glory. My people, my paper.
Does this mean that the party has accepted the leadership?
Yes, the party has accepted the leadership of the National Assembly, of the Senate President, and the Speaker of the Federal House. Thank you.
Obviously, an elated Governor Rochas Okorocha after the meeting with the National Assembly members. Now, Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki has assured the APC members that the National Assembly leadership crisis has finally been resolved. He gave the assurance when he received a delegation of APC state chairmen. The visit came hours after the APC held its National Executive Committee meeting, an APC governors meeting in Abuja.
At 2:30, we went to Imo Lodge, and my calculation was that at least maybe we'll finish earlier than this. I'm just coming straight for this. I apologize for keeping you waiting, but it's all in a good cause, and I'm happy to report that we can report peace from the meeting we held with the different groups, and I'm very happy to say that peace is on course. We are beginning to break some of the jinx, and we are back again in the next couple of days to report back to Nigerians in general. But definitely we all left there smiling, and inshallah we will get to the promised land regards the peace reconciliation.
Prior to that meeting, the President had met with the National Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress at the party's secretariat in the nation's capital, Abuja. In his opening remarks, President Muhammadu Buhari asked the lawmakers who are members of the APC and the National Assembly to put aside individual interest and accept the party's supremacy.
President Buhari chose the NEC meeting of his political party to pour out his mind on what he feels about the leadership tussle in the National Assembly. He wonders why the hard-earned success at the polls cannot be managed, calling on his party men not to disappoint Nigerians.
The elections have come and gone. The APC has won the battle and lost the war. This is the paradox of democracy. And we shall see how we can manage it. How do we manage it? The way going forward. I have already appealed to you through the chairman, through the leadership of the party, through Your Excellency the governors, through our senators and the House of Representatives.
The president traced the history of the formation of the party and said that the opportunity given to them by the Nigerian people should not be thrown to the wind. According to him, this is a time to shun personal interest and embrace party superiority.
And for you to reflect and thank the leadership of the party at various stages for going through all this, which is not easy. But God in His infinite mercy has paid us by giving us success. Let us not throw this success to the wind. Let us, as members of APC, no matter our personal differences, get together and meet the mandate given to us by this country. This is my personal appeal, and in the name of God, whatever your personal interest is and ambition, please keep it close to your heart and in your pocket.
The APC National Chairman, Mr. John Oyegu, in his opening remarks, said the meeting will rectify the composition of the party's Board of Trustees, as well as consider solutions to the challenges facing the party at the National Assembly.
We are less than 2 years old. We'll be 2 years at the end of this month. And we have not had a lot of time to ensure that all the organs of this party function as prescribed for them by the Constitution. So, we want to complete the composition of the Board of Trustees so that they too can be called into session to undertake their constitutional duties. Of course, in the process, we live in the real world. We know the issues that are at present engaging the party, the challenges that we are passing through, and we, of course, in the process, have to discuss in a passing way the challenges that we are passing through, which we assure you will be dealt with conclusively, before the National Assembly reassembles.
The next few weeks will determine if truly the warring factions in the APC will adhere to the admonitions from the NEC meeting. And in the words of the president, the system must be allowed to work for the good of the Nigerian people. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
For more on the outcome of the APC reconciliation meeting, we take you to Abuja studios with Linda Akigbe.
Thank you, Sulaiman. Now, joining me on the news at 10 to discuss the crisis in the APC is the Governor of Imo State, Governor Rochas Okorocha. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you very much.
Now, the APC governors met today to resolve the impasse among members in the National Assembly. How do you intend to do this?
Well, I will say that we've done a lot to get this matter settled once and for all. And we believe in and trust in God that by next week, this whole matter will be resolved. What you see came out really wasn't really a disagreement, but rather what I might call absolute democratic freedom. Because in our checkered political history, it's always for the president or the governor to say who becomes the Senate President or who become the House of Assembly. But in this case, the President has said to the world, listen, he does not want to interfere. And it's that freedom that we call disagreement. If none of those candidates, be it Senate President Bukola Saraki or my brother, the senator who contested with him, would have said no to Mr. President. But because of that, then the party, the two candidates came up. And in the struggle for this, there was a danger of likelihood of PDP coming to take their place. And so the political quagmire started. So we're united. And we have been able to understand most of our problem were communication gap.
But is this not a case of medicine after death?
It could have been medicine. It's not medicine after death because there's no any death yet. Just the party came in trying to interfere. I mean, come and intervene in the matter, and by conducting the mock primaries, and somebody won, somebody lost, and they all went back to elections. So what I'm trying to say here is that our party, that's part of the change we're talking about. Our party is not saying, listen, it must be this or it must be that. So there's total political freedom for them to choose who they want to govern them. And that's been causing this whole confusion. But today we're able to trace our problem, origin of our problem, and we've agreed to resolve the matter. We have set up two committees now, one led by Governor of Sokoto State, Governor Tambuwal, and Governor of Edo State, Oshimole, to go and look into this matter with the purpose of making the peace and bring back to us, so we can announce the decision of the
But we have a situation where some of the aggrieved members have threatened to go to court. We've seen this in the House of Representatives, lawmakers from the North Central, and even in the Senate.
Yes.
If they want to go to court, how does this play out in this whole resolution of the crisis?
Well, that's where we're in it now. Once we come in, there will be no court issue anymore. Once the matter is amicably resolved, there will be no matter of court. But what I'm saying is that, you see, we gave the National Assembly had absolute freedom. Normally, there shouldn't have been any contest. It would have been you go and you sit down. But I think we felt in the leadership responsibility to have told this person, sit down and don't go. And we allowed them to go to market first. And in the process, again, we say, come back. So it was too late for them to do so. So it's not really that they are in disagreement with each other, but because they were struggling to get a political position. And that has been made known to all of us today. I was surprised to see that both Bajamila and Dogara are very close friends. And they've said so to themselves. So we'll be able to bring them together. Everybody there is working together. But we're trying to see how can we now carry the entire zones along? How can we now carry the interest of those who went into this election, so there will be no victor, no vanquish. So
that's Buhari yes. Today at the NEC meeting said that members should respect the supremacy of the party. Now, some analysts believe that President Buhari should have marched towards redaction by calling erring members of the party to order. What's your take on this?
You see, President Buhari is very democratic in nature. I think if he had gone with the same military fears, people would say, no, he's been autocratic. He wants things to play out naturally. Let people express their will, their political will and all that. Now, he has simply advised there's party supremacy. We're a product of party. Naturally, we should respect the party decision because the leadership of the party is the one we have all agreed to support and who in turn support us. But in that case, it does not mean that Muhammad Buhari would have said to you, listen, I want this done, I want that done. I think he allows everybody to really have a sense of belonging while respecting the party. I think that's the best way to explain it. But so don't expect President Buhari to be an autocratic president who said, look, I want this done, this done. He wants the party decision to prevail. This happened during our campaigns. He will hardly tell you that he wants this done. So what have you said? Whatever you say is what I want to do. And I think that's helped a lot.
But some Nigerians feel that the rift in the National Assembly is slowing down governance.
How? How is this slowing down governance?
In the sense that the ministers, the swearing in, the nomination of ministers, and even the National Assembly.
No, that's a complete misunderstanding of the fact. Listen, let me tell you. When President Muhammad Buhari took over government, there was no proper handover. If you recall, he set up a 10-man committee to look at the possibility of getting him information at all as to what is happening in the nation, what he needs to do, what resources we have, what are the liabilities, what are the programs of government. He's completely at loss. So it has nothing to do with the National Assembly. It has a lot to do with the system with which he took over government because it was very difficult for him to gather any information. So they have to go almost to every parsec looking for information. And he's not a man who wants to do things for the show of it. He wants to get things done properly and do it right. So watch his style. When we talk about change, change also implies doing things a different way from the conventional way of doing things. I think it's better to start well than starting and not starting well and making mistakes. So it has nothing to do with National Assembly, and I'm sure before they reconvene and this peace comes, the list of ministers will go in and government will kick off. We've just spent 1 month.
Thank you very, very much, Governor Rochas Okorocha, for joining us on the News at 10. Now that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Sulaiman.
Many thanks, Linda. In part two, after the break, internally displaced persons in Abuja accuse the federal government of neglecting them.